I told Mr. Benefield to stay close because I would be really short today, which is probably good for everyone. So I just want to welcome you. Not exactly what we thought we were going to be able to do today, but what I would say, it's one step closer to where we want to be from where we were last year. So we'll take that as a win. And I want to thank everybody for pivoting with us today. And I will be so happy when we have to stop using that word, which I mentioned to Dr. Mccure a little bit earlier. That was on my little sticky note for my speech. We don't have to say pivot or all those cliches that we've been hearing over the last couple of years. But again, I will say thank you so much for sticking with us and being here today. It's great to be a part of this ceremony. I've attended one of these back in 2012 when my sister-in-law was inducted into the Wall of Distinction, and what a fantastic thing to be a part of. Normally we would have 300 or 400 people out here in the audience. I'm actually probably glad we split it up into two today for the number of family members who were able to come out for this portion of the show. Because we would have been pretty tight, which makes me a little bit nervous with our students because, as we know, we're working hard every day to keep our kids in person, and there's an awful lot of challenges there. One of the challenges that you won't face today is me speaking too long. I will take care of that. But I do want to thank just a few more people. I want to thank all the honorees, all the family members. I want to thank our Honor Society students that are here today, our advisors. I want to thank Kelly Henzel from the district office, who helped with the framing and the letters and contacting everybody and making sure people could show up and be here today. I also want to thank the food service. Each one of you should take at least 14 desserts home today after this, and that's no joke when you get up there, and things look fantastic, so thanks to them. And I want to thank our public information folks in the back, making sure this gets streamed out and recorded. And we're hopeful that we can show this to our inductees for the Honor Society when that ceremony can take place, because we think the message is an important one. I came from here. The message from you folks, I did not come from here, but the message from our Wall of Distinction inductees, I was a Tiger. Here's what I was able to do. Or in one case today, my dad was a Tiger. Here's what he was able to do. And setting the stage for our young people as they move out of high school over the next couple of years. So again, thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to be a part of this. And again, one of the challenges today will not be a long speech by Dan Ward. So I hope you enjoy the ceremony, and congratulations to all the Wall of Distinction honorees.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. I will not be long either this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. For those who may not know me, I'm James Benefield, the high school principal, and I would like to welcome you to the 19th Wall of Distinction ceremony. We are here today to celebrate the rich past of the Hudson Falls School District. Today, we will induct 6 alumni who spent their lives building a strong foundation based on scholarship, leadership, character, and service to their community. Like the honorees before them, this year's Wall of Distinction inductees continue to be an inspiration to the student body of Hudson Falls. We look forward to listening to their speeches about their time at Hudson Falls High School and how the education and opportunities they were afforded helped shape their lives. I just again want to thank all the inductees for being here today. Thank you. As principal of the Hudson Falls High School, it is my pleasure to introduce Aidan Gregory, president of the Sandy Hill chapter of National Honor Society, who will serve as our Master of Ceremonies for today's Wall of Distinction program. Please welcome Aidan Gregory. It's all yours.
All right. Welcome, friends, family, students, Wall of Distinction honorees, and former graduates of Hudson Falls High School. Today, we will be recognizing the accomplishments of past and present members of the Hudson Falls community for making Hudson Falls such a wonderful community in which to live, work, raise a family, and go to school. At the conclusion of today's program, we would like to invite everyone to follow us to the main lobby for the unveiling of the Wall of Distinction and the reception in the lobby for refreshments. The Hudson Falls Wall of Distinction Committee has recommended that 6 former Hudson Falls graduates be recognized for having achieved a high level of success. Through their lives and their work, they demonstrate and exemplify the quality and talent that our school system is capable of producing. From this year's selected honorees, we have graduates from the HFCSD classes of 1964, 65, 68, 85, 86, and 93, including community leaders, public servants, professionals, and educators. The 2020 inductees are Cheryl Hogan from the class of 85, Dr. David Leaf, class of 65, Dr. Kevin Mccure, class of 93, John Toole, class of 68, Richard Wardwell, class of 64, and Rochelle Ives Archard, class of 86. Senior National Honor Society members will now introduce each Wall of Distinction inductee. Emma Rose will highlight the accomplishments of Cheryl Hogan.
Cheryl Hogan was born on September 1st, 1967 in Hudson Falls. She was the fifth of 6 children of Dr. Mitchell L. and Norma Potvin. While in high school, she served as a class officer and was active in Key Club and National Honor Society, as well as playing tennis, volleyball, and softball. She also maintained a number of close friendships that continue to this day. She graduated in 1985 and entered the College of the Holy Cross in September of that year. She graduated cum laude from the College of the Holy Cross in 1989 with a bachelor's degree in Spanish. After graduation, she joined the Jesuit Volunteer Corps. As a Jesuit volunteer, she served 1 year in North Philadelphia as a legal advocate for victims of domestic violence. After a year of service in JVC, Cheryl enrolled at Albany Law School, where she was an executive editor of the Albany Law Review. She graduated magna cum laude from the law school in 1993. After graduation, she joined the law firm of Hinman Strub in Albany. At Hinman Strub, Cheryl specializes in health insurance and became a shareholder of the firm. In 2008, the Legal Project awarded her the Stanley A. Rosen Memorial Award for pro bono service to victims of domestic violence. Cheryl resides in Hudson Falls with her husband, William. They are the parents of 4 children, Thomas, Benjamin, Daniel, and Eliza. She currently serves on the distribution committee of the Glens Falls Foundation and is on the board of directors of Operation Santa Claus and the Hudson Falls Free Library. She is also a former member of the Hudson Falls Central Board of Education. Please welcome Cheryl Hogan.
Thank you for that fine introduction, Emma. Congratulations to my fellow Wall of Distinction honorees. I'd like to thank the committee for selecting me, my sister Renee for nominating me, and my friends and family who came today to share in this achievement. My family was actually going to get a twofer today with my induction and my wonderful niece Maggie's induction into NHS, but I guess now we'll have to come back for another day. I join a distinguished group of alumni, including my father, who was inducted back in 2004 and who is here with us today. I'm proud to be a lifelong resident of Hudson Falls. We are blessed to live in a beautiful area, in a close-knit town, with a school system full of caring and dedicated teachers. I had a wonderful experience in school with close friends and many great teachers, from Margaret Murphy through high school, including the sweet Miss Yanklowitz in 4th grade, the challenging Mrs. Ahrens in 10th grade, teacher and class advisor Mr. Auberge, and Miss Barrett, who made math easy, even for me. My husband and all 4 of our children also graduated from Hudson Falls and had similarly great experiences. The students here today may not appreciate what a special place Hudson Falls is right now, but I think in time they'll understand and may even decide to stay or return and share their energy and talents with us. And now just a few points I'd like to impart to the students of NHS. First, know that if you can excel at Hudson Falls, you can excel anywhere. You are not just Hudson Falls smart or small town smart. This is something I know to be true and something my son, who graduated a few years ago, also specifically asked me to emphasize. The educational foundation you've been given at Hudson Falls and the work ethic you've developed will serve you well no matter where you go. I was reminded of this recently when my daughter mentioned that when she met friends at college last year, and when they talked about where they were from, many of them told her that the only reason they lived where they did was so that they could go to good private schools to get into good colleges. And here was my daughter in the same college they were, and excelling, even coming from little old Hudson Falls. So don't be intimidated or sell yourselves short. As honor students at Hudson Falls, you can compete with the best of them. Second, understand the importance of connections and networking with others. Many people you meet along the way have the potential to have a positive or even a negative impact on your life. A prime example is how I got the job I've had for almost 30 years. When I was in college, I was lucky enough to have a work-study job in the cafeteria, slinging hash and washing dishes. A few years later, I ran into a guy who'd been a year ahead of me in college and who'd been a supervisor in the cafeteria. He remembered me, and apparently my stellar dishwashing skills, and recommended me for a job at the law firm where he was working. If you told me at the time I was working in the cafeteria that job would be responsible for me having a successful legal career, I can assure you I would never have believed it. So remember, the impression you make on people and the connections you establish can have lasting consequences. Whether you eventually need them for a school or job reference, or have a chance meeting with them that could influence your career, as I did, never discount the people you meet along the way. Hand in hand with making connections is working hard. I know you hear it all the time, and most of you have worked hard to be here today in NHS, but I can't adequately stress the importance of working hard. I attribute my success in large part to getting to the office before my boss and leaving after he did, being willing to take on any task, and putting out the best work product possible. It would have been easy for me to slack off in my kitchen duties at the cafeteria and to have had a bad attitude given the menial tasks I was performing. But if I had, my colleague would never have recommended me for a job at his law firm. So no matter what work you're doing, make the effort to put out a product that you're proud of. It will lead to both professional and personal fulfillment. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Hogan and Emma. Riley Mahar will now introduce Dr. David Leaf.
David was born on December 22, 1947 in San Antonio, Texas. His parents moved with him to Hudson Falls 2 years later, first living on Main Street, then on North Oak Street. He graduated from Hudson Falls in 1965 and lettered in track. After high school, he went to the State University at Albany. In 1971, he graduated from the Texas Chiropractic College as valedictorian. After college, David first moved to Falmouth, Massachusetts, and practiced there for 6 years before opening 3 offices in southeastern Massachusetts. He has had a practice treating the general public in Plymouth, Massachusetts since 1977. This year, he is celebrating 50 years in practice. His goal has always been to teach people to take care of themselves. Aligning with this goal, David started studying applied kinesiology in 1971 and began teaching this in 1976. Since then, he has lectured throughout the United States and in Canada, France, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Norway, Ukraine, Russia, Belgium, and Australia. He started treating Olympic-class athletes in the 80s and later members of the New England Patriots, AC Milan soccer players, and Paralympic athletes of Russia. These athletes have also included a 100-meter world record holder, players in the NFL, NBA, and NHL, and world champion powerlifters. For the last 6 years, he has been honored to lecture in Moscow at symposiums for neurologists in November and sports injury specialists in May. David has authored 2 books, one on applied kinesiology and the other on muscle testing. In addition, he is currently working on an online learning course for professionals to improve the diagnosis and treatment of muscle injuries. Please welcome Dr. David Leaf.
I'll keep this short because I wasn't aware I was supposed to give a speech. It's a small town. You leave here. In one of my offices, I had a poster up, and it was from a Catholic cardinal. He said, "Happy are those who dream dreams and are willing to work to make them come true." You can have all the dreams in the world you want, but if you don't work at it, you won't succeed. And it's the working for those that makes you happy, that gives meaning to your life. I turned 74 this next month. I work 12 hours a day, 4 days in a week, Monday through Thursdays. Every day I go to the office, all I want to do is impart something to someone else. The tools that you learn here in a small town like this carry anywhere in the world. You can be anything that you want to be. You just have to think about it and study. Now, for the older people, they found in Europe about 2 years ago that every day you get 700 new neurons in a portion of your brain called the hippocampus. And if you stay physically active and you learn something, these cells survive. And if you don't do that, they die away. There's an old Chinese adverb that says, "Live and learn as though you will be 100, and you may." And it starts when you're young. When you're young, you have to stay active, keep learning, and look for things that give you joy in your life that help others. And if you do that, you'll have a long, successful life. Thank you. Like I said, short.
All right, thank you, Dr. Leaf and Riley. Ashlyn Hutchinson will now introduce Dr. Kevin Mccure.
Kevin B. Mccure was born on April 4th, 1975, to the Honorable Thomas and Teresa Mccure. He grew up on Clark Street in Hudson Falls with his siblings Kelly, Thomas, Michael, and Katie. The Mccure family still lives on Clark Street today. Kevin has always felt that his 4 years at Hudson Falls were some of the best years of his life. He was president of his class all 4 years and president of the National Honor Society. He played the French horn in the band and was chosen to participate in the All-County Band Festival. He was in the drama club and active at St. Mary's St. Paul's Church in Hudson Falls, serving on the parish council. Kevin was also very successful as a varsity athlete. He was a pole vaulter on the Tigers Championship track team in 1990, 1991, and 1992. He also played quarterback on the 1991 Tigers football team that beat Glens Falls to keep the jug in Hudson Falls. On the Tigers' 1992 varsity football team, he was co-captain. In 1993, after graduating Hudson Falls High School as salutatorian, Kevin entered the Siena College Albany Medical College program in Art, Humanities, and Medicine. He graduated from Siena College summa cum laude in 1997 and won the St. Francis Medal. During his time at Siena, Kevin was involved in extensive service projects, which include working on the Apache Reservation in Arizona and soup kitchens in Philadelphia, and working with victims of child abuse near Thunder Bay, Canada. He then graduated from Albany Medical College in 2001 after winning the Albert Unick Award in gastroenterology and thereafter completing a 3-year internship and residency in internal medicine at Wake Forest University in 2004. He completed a 3-year fellowship in gastroenterology and hepatology at Albany Medical Center in 2007 and is currently board certified in gastroenterology by the American Board of Internal Medicine. Dr. Kevin Mccure has had an active gastroenterology practice for the past 14 years. He is currently an assistant professor of medicine and gastroenterology at Virginia Tech Carolian School of Medicine in Roanoke, Virginia. He supervises residents and treats patients throughout Southwest Virginia. Please welcome Dr. Kevin Mccure. Oh.
Thank you, Ashlyn. Thank you. I would first like to start by thanking you all so much for this honor. It means so much for me to be listed on the Wall of Distinction. It is great to be back home. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I would also like to congratulate the new members of the National Honor Society. I too was a member of the National Honor Society here at Hudson Falls High School. Today is an opportunity to recognize the outstanding students
here at Hudson Falls High School who epitomize the values of the National Honor Society, including scholarship, service, leadership, and character. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank my family for all their love and support over so many years, especially my parents, Thomas and Teresa Mccure, who have done such an amazing job over so many years. Again, I cannot thank you enough. I would also like to thank my brothers and sisters, along with my entire family, for all their love and support. I have so many wonderful memories of my time here at Hudson Falls High School, and I feel very fortunate and blessed to have grown up here in Hudson Falls. I was very active in high school sports, band, drama club, and class government. I encourage you all to be involved and to put forth as much effort as you can in any activity you choose. In many ways that you cannot imagine now, you will remember your efforts. Many years from now, no one else will remember whether you completed that pass or how you performed in a concert, but you will remember. You'll remember the concert, the game, the show. I assure you, you will want to look back in the mirror and know that you did your best. You'll remember the effort you put forth. Do not do it for your parents or for your coaches or for your teachers. Do it for yourselves. I feel that the work ethic I developed here at Hudson Falls High School served me very well as I went on to Siena College and then the Albany Medical College and beyond. In the summer months here in Hudson Falls, we would meet up at the high school at 6:15 in the morning, and we would run and lift and work out. Then later in the day, I would again run or lift, and I'd also throw with anyone who's available, including my little sister, so a special thank you to Katie for that. When I wasn't working out, I spent much of my time in the summers working in Lake George and reading. I spent one summer walking around the Great Escape as Chipper the Chipmunk. I was paid $4.25 an hour to walk around the Great Escape in a 20-year-old chipmunk costume. I was abused by dads and children alike. Believe it or not, though, that job has really served me well. There have been several occasions when I was more than willing to cover call or drive a distance to cover a hospital when other doctors claimed it was either too difficult or too much work. Walking around the Great Escape as Chipper the Chipmunk really gives you perspective. So just a few words. Try to limit the amount of time you spend in front of a screen. Limit iPads, iPhones, tablets, and video games as much as possible. If you show up, if you work hard, and if you have a good attitude, you're already ahead of more than 95% of the people you're competing against. Along the way, I've studied and worked along some really brilliant people. I've studied and worked alongside people who are great athletes, incredibly hard workers, and brilliant people. Some of these people trained at elite colleges and universities. Do not be intimidated. I was able to hang with them, and so can you. It doesn't matter whether you grew up in a small town in upstate New York in the heart of a major city. It doesn't really matter. Everyone grew up somewhere. I also want to tell you I've made many, many mistakes along the way. My advice to you is to practice, work hard, and never give up. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be unfortunate events that occur that you cannot control. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it. Take life one day at a time and keep working hard. Again, thank you so much for this honor. It really means a lot. And thank you for having me here today. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Mccure and Ashlyn. Ashlyn will now also introduce Mr. John Jack Toole.
John, or Jack A. Toole, was born on March 15, 1950 in Glens Falls to John and Joan Toole. With James, Mary Jane, and Joanne, Jack is one of 4 children. He attended St. Mary's in Hudson Falls and graduated from Hudson Falls High School in 1968. In high school, Jack broke multiple records, including the school record for the mile. His time of 4:16 still stands today. He finished his high school career as New York State runner-up in the track championship. As a result of his high school success, Jack earned a full track and field scholarship to the University of Nebraska. At Nebraska, he ran against the top runners in the country and won 2 Big 8 championships. In 1973, he graduated from college and began working at Granville Elementary, where he taught 4th, 5th, and 6th grade for 35 years. During his career, Jack was nominated into the Who's Who among America's teachers, honoring our nation's most respected teachers in 1998, 2002, 2004, and 2005. Along with teaching, Jack coached football and track for 46 years. Throughout his career, he coached at Hudson Falls High School, Granville High School, and helped coach various players and runners from other school districts, including Glens Falls and Queensbury. In the 1990s, he was also the head coach of the Glens Falls Green Jackets. Jack has had a decorated coaching career by winning numerous football championships and producing various championship runners. In 2015, he was inducted into the Green Jackets Hall of Fame. What made Jack's coaching special was not only the success of championships or by using his analytic techniques, rather it was special because of his strong influence on the players he coached and the coaches he worked with. Coach Toole was special in that he cared and had so much passion for the game and the players he coached. He provided guidance on and off the field to his players and cared not only about bringing out the best of their abilities, but also about being the most successful in life they could be no matter where life took them. Accompanying all of his success, Jack married his wife of 27 years, Maria, in 1991. He is the father of 3 children, Alexa, Christopher, and Ryan. Jack strove to be the best husband and father to his children that he could be. He was once asked what he was most proud of in life, and without hesitation, he said, "I am most proud of my wife and children." On October 20th, 2018, Jack passed away after a courageous battle with cancer. Jack's memory lives on in the family that survives him and all those whose lives he touched in teaching and coaching in the most special way. Please welcome Alexa Toole, accepting this recognition on Mr. Toole's behalf.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's such a great honor to be here today. My name is Alexa Toole, newly married, so my last name is Palmer. I'm the daughter of John Toole, also known as Jack. I will be giving a little bit of a different perspective today. It's so wonderful to be here with all of the other of this year's inductees, recapping on their memories of being here at Hudson Falls. I'd like to just say some words about my dad and thank everybody here. My dad would be so excited to be here today and honored to be here today. I know he'd love to speak with you. He'd love to share his memories and his depth words of wisdom that he had. He would love to tell you how much he loved this school and loved this community all of his life. He was incredibly proud to be a Hudson Falls Tiger, and he definitely held that spirit until his passing. I like to say that he very much deserves this award for all of his accomplishments as a student athlete here, Division I track athlete at University of Nebraska, and as a teacher and coach for over 40 years. I'll say my speech is a little bit more repetitive as I can't recap on his own memories of his time here. But I can say with full certainty that there are not many people in this world like my dad. As an educator and a coach, he had a profound passion and impact on the communities where he worked, including Hudson Falls. Coach Toole, or Mr. Toole, as he was known by his athletes and his students, was very special. As Ashlyn just recapped, I'd like to do the same. He would not only do his job in the classroom and on the field to be successful, but he went above and beyond by providing outside guidance, knowledge, and support as much as he could. He would want to bring out the best of his students and athletes' abilities, not just to be the best in the moment for his class or for his team, but he wanted them to be successful no matter what they would do or where it would take them. All my life, I've been told how amazing my dad was by people that knew him, former students, athletes, colleagues, and friends. And everyone that ever told me that was absolutely right. I'm so proud and fortunate to be the daughter of such an incredible man and well-respected man. This is a wonderful day for me and my family, as it's a chance to talk about him and honor him. It means more than we can ever say. I'd also like to thank the Wall of Distinction Committee, Superintendent Ward, the Board of Education, all of those that were involved to make this event today. It's really a great event, and I'm sorry that the majority of the National Honor Society students couldn't be here today, because it's such a great way to recognize and celebrate everyone's accomplishments and all of the inductees that have been inducted and been committed to creating a positive impact in their lives. And with that, also congratulations to this year's Wall of Distinction inductees. It's such a great honor, and the National Honor Society. And lastly, and again, on behalf of my entire family, we are extremely grateful and proud for this honor for my dad, and we thank you for allowing us to celebrate his accomplishments and memories today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Toole, or Palmer now, as it says Toole here, and Ashlyn again. Brandon Aldis will now introduce Mr. Richard Wardwell.
The Glens Falls Hospital welcomed Richard Wardwell into this world on March 1st, 1947. 1 month later, he, his parents, and big sister Beth moved into a country farmhouse at the corner of Sanford Ridge and Vaughan Road, where Richard lived for the next 21 years. He was educated in the Hudson Falls School District, starting in 1951 with Miss Rinfret's kindergarten class, and finishing in 1964, graduating high school with an unremarkable record, as he was mostly interested in skiing at Hickory Hill in the winter and playing on Lake George in the summer. After high school, Richard majored in civil engineering at the University of Vermont, graduating with a Bachelor of Science in 1968 while working school breaks at Wrist Frost Engineers. After college, he joined the Navy, where he trained as a naval flight officer stationed at Maryland's Patuxent River Naval Air Station, trekking Russian submarines over the North Atlantic. Discharged as a lieutenant in 1972 and armed with VA benefits, Richard pursued graduate studies at the University of Maine, where he earned a master's in 1973, and at Colorado State University, where he earned a PhD in 1981, specializing in geotechnical and groundwater engineering. During the subsequent 28 years of experience, Dr. Wardwell started in academia, but then served as an engineering consultant evaluating earthwork stability and solid and hazardous waste disposal design, remediation, and reclamation. While practicing in Maine, Richard was appointed by the governor to serve on the Board of Environmental Protection, which is a 7-citizen panel tasked to assess the environmental impact associated with permit applications, appeals, and rulemaking that came before the state's Department of Environmental Protection. He held this position for 5 years and as its chair for the last 2. Based on Dr. Wardwell's engineering and adjudicatory experience, in 2005 he was selected to serve as a full-time technical judge for the Atomic Safety and Licensing Board panel of the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission to adjudicate licenses challenged by outside parties regarding nuclear reactor operation and control of radioactive materials. During his 14 years of the ASLBP, Richard volunteered at food kitchens in the Washington, D.C., and for the Open Door Mission in Glens Falls. In 2019, Richard retired to Lake George, but continued volunteering at the Open Door Mission, gleaning excess groceries for food kitchens and pantries in Warren County. His spare time has been spent sprucing up his Lake George cottage, skiing, and maintaining his aviation skills as an FAA licensed commercial pilot and certified flight instructor. Richard realizes he has been blessed to enjoy these activities, and especially to share life experiences with sons, Ethan of Bangor, Maine, and Duncan of Richard, Vermont, and with daughter-in-law Amy and 2 grandsons, Quinn and Alex. Please welcome Richard Wardwell.
I'm not sure why they put the old people at the far end here. It's a long poke over here. The last time I was at this podium before, years ago, 60 years ago, to be precise, probably, when I was running for, I think, treasurer or secretary of the student council here at Hudson Falls. And I think I want to bring up a couple items here, some dealing with the honors and the foundation that Hudson Falls provides for anyone going forward. And then I want to also make some comments in regards to this honor itself that's been bestowed upon me. As was noted in my bio, I was not an Honor Society student here. I sure enjoyed my time here at Hudson Falls, though, and realized the sound foundation that it provided for future endeavors. And I think that's important. It was certainly to me, because we all seem to gravitate or maybe it's a better word is mature at our own pace. And this experience here at Hudson Falls, with all that it has to offer in the school, is an incredible resource. And take advantage of that, because you'll be able to use it as you move forward. The second comment I'd make in regards to the honorship is something that I failed to do, and that is to follow my dream. And I now realize that it's very important. You're going to have a foundation here to carry forward, and imagine whatever wildest dream you want, and don't give up on that. I remember distinctly reading, I got to remember the name of the book, Ives and Consent. And it's a book about really politics and describes really well how the Senate operates. And at that time that I read that, I thought, man, being a U.S. Senator has to be about the best job in the whole wide world. I really thought that. And I still kind of do, because, you just can do what you want to, and, and at any rate, any speed and rate that you want to do it. But as I thought about that, and I thought about it here at the high school, is when I did it, and I thought, well, that's impossible, there's no way you can do that. And I just gave up on it. Looking back, I can see where if I really wanted to do that, I might have had a shot at it. But it's only through maturity that I did recognize that there is that opportunity to do the wildest thing you can imagine. And if you really want to do it, go after it and do it, because you have a good chance of succeeding. And even if you don't succeed, you're going to have a nice trip along the way. And so enjoy that, pursuing that dream, and don't give up on it. The last couple comments I'd like to make really kind of deal with this honor, which is kind of amazing. I know that first I think I'd like to mention that the recognition that has been bestowed upon me kind of eerily awakens some memories I had of younger days, when I kind of wondered what would be a sign of a person's success. A couple of decades later, I suddenly realized that my own personal awards had already been received in the form of my 2 children, and then augmented later on with a couple of grandkids. And those offspring filled this father/grandfather with a joy that easily trumps any other awards. The second comment I'd like to make in regards to this honor is the fact that, or just to note the significant role that luck played in me even being nominated for this award, given the multitude of others who easily qualify and are probably likely more worthy than I to receive this. The luck for me came when I first met my eventual sponsor, Chris McPherson, who was here earlier, but I don't think she's here now. She's worked, yeah, she has to work, right? Obviously, the superintendent and the principal are controlling her, her activities today, and that's good to see. But I met her at the YMCA, where we fought over the use of a special Stairmaster every morning at 5 a.m. And if it wasn't for our shared workout goals, I never would have gotten to know Chris. And I would have remained just a headshot in the 1964 high school yearbook, alongside all my other talented, creative, compassionate, and charitable classmates whose good deeds go unnoticed. And so I really accept this award today with a keen awareness that, it's just that I merely just represent so many other deserving Hudson Falls High School graduates, and really stand on the shoulders of their major contributions to this community. Thank you all for this honor and for allowing me to speak today.
Thank you, Mr. Wardwell and Brandon. Tom Bousted will now introduce Mrs. Rochelle Ives Archard.
Rochelle Ives Archard was born October 23, 1968 in North Bend, Oregon, to Richard and Jean Ives while her dad was serving in the Air Force. In 1969, the family moved back to Hudson Falls. Rochelle attended Burgoyne Avenue Elementary School, then Hudson Falls Junior and Senior High Schools. She graduated in 1968. Her brothers, James and Timothy Ives, also graduated from Hudson Falls schools. During her time in high school, she worked as a dietary aide at Fort Hudson Nursing Home, as well as several full-time summer babysitting jobs. Rochelle attended Adirondack Community College for a semester after graduation. At that time, she was unsure of a career path and decided to work full-time as a certified nurse's aide at Fort Hudson Nursing Home. After several years at Fort Hudson, she decided to take a new path and worked as a commercial line underwriter for the United Community Insurance Company / the Lawrence Group in Glens Falls, New York. After several years, the insurance company closed, and Rochelle decided to follow her heart and enrolled in a nursing program at Adirondack Community College. She graduated in 2000 with an associate's degree in nursing. Rochelle worked at the Glens Falls Hospital as a registered nurse until 2004, when she took some time away from nursing to be at home with her 2 children. At that time, she worked at the Glens Falls Family YMCA, in the child care room, fitness room, and as a preschool aide. From 2011 to 2013, Rochelle worked as a registered nurse for Community Work and Independence Incorporated. In 2013, she took a position as the director of the assisted living program at Adirondack Manor. Then in 2016, moved on to be the director of the assisted living program at the Terrace at the Glen at Highland Meadows. While working full-time, Rochelle earned a bachelor's degree in nursing, a master's degree in nursing leadership and management, and a master's degree in business, specializing in healthcare management. Rochelle is currently working as the director of the Terrace at the Glen at Highland Meadows, and also assists the executive director of the Glen. During the summer of 2021, the Glen started construction of a memory care center on site, and Rochelle has been involved with the planning and development of this program. Rochelle is certified in assisted living nursing and is a member of the American Assisted Living Nurses Association, and is also involved in the Alzheimer's Association, the Adirondack Rural Health Network, and the Long-Term Care Council. She lives in Queensbury, New York, with her husband Peter and her 2 children, Emily and Zachary. Please welcome Rochelle Ives Archard.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'd like to thank the community, and I would like to thank the committee for bestowing this honor upon me, and also my mom, who nominated me for this, and also for my family for putting up with the rocky road along the way. It's been a little crazy of a journey for me. I, too, was not a member of the National Honor Society when I attended Hudson Falls High School. I was not an athlete. I was not a musician. I actually came and did what I had to do and went home. I worked, though. That was what I did, and that I got that strong work ethic from my parents, because that's what I saw them do. I spent some time thinking about what I would want to say at this moment. I wanted to say something that would make an impact on someone, be inspiring without boring everybody to death. I decided to talk about the importance of finding a job or career that makes you feel good about what you do every day. I want to explain, as the director of the Terrace at the Glen at Highland Meadows, we're a 42-bed assisted living facility. Assisted living falls kind of in between the needs of someone who could live by themselves independently as a senior, and those that do not need skilled nursing. So there is a need for that that's really unmet in the community. So working with the elderly population isn't really anything that I aspired to do. I never thought that was my niche. I actually, upon graduation from nursing school, did med-surg. I worked in maternity, labor, delivery. I worked in the special care nursery. I worked with folks with developmental disabilities. All of those were good jobs, and of course they all helped people, made a difference in people's lives. But when I started working in the assisted living and working with the elderly and the families, the need in the community that really needs to be met. So I've never felt the feeling that I felt before when I had a new resident come into the building scared to death. Later, after adjusting with the help of my staff and myself, enjoying meals in the dining room, attending activities, and really living an enriched life when they thought they didn't have anything left to offer. Another good feeling is when I have family members that I've worked with struggling with the decision, everybody wants to take care of their loved ones. Everybody says, I'll never put my loved one in a facility. I will do it, until the time comes and they realize that is not an easy task. So I deal with the families, work with the residents to make them comfortable and realize they're making the right decision. And it's a really good feeling to have families just be so relieved that they can give up the caregiving task and actually go back to be a son or a daughter enjoying their parent. So I've laughed, joked, listened to stories, celebrated holidays with my residents, and held hands in the last days of lives. Working in healthcare is not always easy, and the past year has brought challenges that we never expected or were prepared for. When COVID hit, our doors closed. Families could only see their loved ones through a window or on a computer or monitor or screen. We saw physical and cognitive decline that was escalated with the isolation. My staff became more important than ever in these people's lives, not only providing daily assistance and care that was required of us, but also providing love and comfort that they needed during these confusing times. Our staff went above and beyond, keeping our population safe, and I can proudly say that we did not have one resident with COVID in our facility. We're still dealing with the hardships of COVID. We're still seeing cases. We're now dealing with the added stress of our staffing shortage, making our jobs even more difficult. But I can honestly say that I love my job, and my word of advice to all of you is find something that really makes a difference in someone else's life, and you will be feeling that you're doing what you need to be doing. Choosing a direction for your career is not an easy one, and like May, you may have more than one career before you find your place. But no matter what you do, remember that you may not always get the recognition that you deserve, but having the satisfaction of knowing that you make a difference in someone else's life is more important than recognition. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ives Archard and Tom. The Hudson Falls Central School District and the Sandy Hill Chapter of National Honor Society is proud to recognize the achievements of our outstanding former graduates. Would the newest members of the Wall of Distinction please stand? Please join our National Honor Society members in a round of applause for the latest members of the Hudson Falls Wall of Distinction. Thank you and congratulations to our honorees. National Honor Society members will proceed to the main lobby with the Wall of Distinction honorees for the unveiling of the Wall of Distinction. Please join us in the cafeteria lobby for the unveiling of the wall and refreshments. And please remain seated until the honorees have left the auditorium. I thank everyone for attending today.